make sure I'm standing in the right spot to open this Rockstar, which is what's going to keep us going. Hey everyone, welcome back to my shop. That's the good stuff. We've got Brian's, is it a 2025 Civic? No, 2020 Civic SI. And Brian drives it a little bit harder than the average Joe. So we're doing new pads and new rotors on the car. And he already has the rotors and pads on this side. Did you paint these calipers or the OEM?
No, I painted
them. Okay. Did you paint them to match Haven's car or was that accidental?
No, I did this a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It's a Mustang color.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want bright red. I thought that was going to be too like Superman's Superman color scheme. I like the dark metallic red with the blue.
Oh, I was thinking too Ferrari. Yeah. The metallic works with the metallic, so I'm good with that.
It actually matches the SI badges really well too. Those aren't like a bright red either.
Oh, okay. We have Centric rotors, which are not carbon fiber or anything. They're basic iron rotors, and then they do have the
lasts pretty well.
Yeah, their e-coating on the hub is actually really nice. What I didn't show because Brian's so damn fast was cleaning up the hub. I'll take you guys in the back when we do the rear. I'll show you how we clean up the hubs. It's super simple. You can kind of do it in any shop. No real major specialized tools or anything, but it also helps it next time you have to change rotors or pads, or just actually rotors. The rotor will come off a lot easier. So we'll show you a couple of cool tips and tricks when we get to the other side. Brian's still working on the other passenger side. Oh, you're going to show old pads?
Yeah, there's
also
the old versus new pad thickness.
Here's our new G-LOC pads, which I'm accidentally wearing the shirt. I didn't know we were doing brakes tonight. I thought we were doing a hitch on Brian's car. So it's totally accidental that I'm wearing the G-LOC. These are the G-LOC pads, and we run these on the MR6.
Yeah.
And Brian runs these on the Miata and this on both cars.
These are GS1s. They're their street pad. I run those on the Miata for the street, and then I run R10s and R8s on Miata for the track.
For the track.
R8s are what's on the
But
6.
Here's what was, and here's what's going in.
Yeah, I think the rears are pretty gone. I think they're thinner than that.
Yeah, they're not quite down to the squealer, but they're, or you don't have a squealer on this.
This
pretty close.
There's like, I don't know. There's some.
Yeah, he's got some left. There's a little bit on this, but it's definitely time to replace them. And I wouldn't even use these as backups. These are done. Sometimes if you have enough pad material left, you can save them as a backup, either for your left or right. You save one set of pads. This way, if for some reason you crack the material or something happens to a backing plate or shim or whatever, you can actually just hop in the garage, change out plates really quick, and that'll get you until you can order new pads or whatever. So sometimes we save them just in case. We have a spare set of pads for the track, don't we? Maybe.
For the MR6 right now?
Yeah, I don't know if
we might have the old ones.
I think we have the old. We have the old ones, which are EBCs, which are okay. They worked fine, but we definitely like the G-LOCs. I'm just gonna look really quick.
Yeah, I take my old pads to the track with them out every time.
I don't think they're EBCs. I don't know where they're from. They're not Carbotech. They're not StopTech. They might be Centrics.
Yeah, having anything to put on the pod.
Yeah, and that's what Brian just said. If you have something, to put on the car to get you through either the track day or the autocross or whatever, it's better to have that than to try and be hunting around in an AutoZone, until all over the place trying to find pads for your specific car. Sorry, I still have my headset on too. It's just so damn comfortable. I completely forget that I have that thing on. So while Brian's on the other side of the car, I'm going to show you guys. Let me come over here, close this out. I'm going to show you guys about the special delivery today, which was really cool. It was about 5 minutes before I got back here. God, I forgot his title already, which is terrible. But
Yeah.
The coolest guy at JaxWax, Todd Isaacs, is a friend of mine. He's actually my neighbor right now. He lives very close to me. What's that?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, Brian's on the phone. So I asked Todd about this wheel cleaner, JaxWax Ultimate, and this is what I've used on the Viper. I've used it on a bunch of different cars, and it works fantastic. It does have, it has that gnarly iron-eating smell, but it works really, really well, and especially when you have really dusty pads, like the Carbotech pads I run on the Viper, the Carbotech pads I run on the SRT4, the Carbotech pads I run on the Miata. They're very dusty and they get the wheels very dirty very quickly. I can go to the grocery store and back in the Viper and the wheels are dirty. So it's nice to have a really kick-ass wheel cleaner, and I have slowly filtered all the other products out and brought in all the JaxWax stuff. So I'm using it for detailer, I'm using it for cleaning, I'm using it for wheels, tires, all that stuff. And this shop is slowly becoming a just JaxWax shop. If I do have other product around from other places, I'll let my friends use it and they can finish that bottle off. Go ahead. And then we'll eventually just be all JaxWax here. So we're not wasting stuff, but I've found what I like, and they cover literally everything. So you need cleaner for your wrap, they've got that. They've got uh, polishes. They literally have just about everything to keep your car clean. And so I don't have to really worry about it. Now, the really cool part was I told Todd yesterday, I sent him a message saying, hey, I'm in Westerville. Where can I get the Ultimate Wheel Cleaner? And he said, try the Ace Hardware. And I went to the Ace Hardware and they have everything except that. And he's like, well, I'll grab you some from the office tomorrow and I'll bring it by. I was like, hey, that's great. I'll be in the shop about 7. And I missed him by like 20 minutes, maybe by like 5 minutes. But Todd came by the shop, dropped it off on the workbench on the toolbox, sent me a picture, said, hey, man, just dropped this off. Actually, I'll just read you the text, which is very cool. So there's the picture he sent me, and brought 2 of these gallons. It's all good. I'm jealous of your cars in your garage as well. And I sent him Venmo for, paying for this. I don't get it for free or anything. So I sent him Venmo, but here's the box I got. It's heavy. Heavier than I thought. So, and then inside we have a gallon. We actually have 2 gallons of JaxWax Ultimate. And this will last me, the 2 gallons will probably last me maybe through the end of the summer. It goes pretty quick when you have wheels that get really dirty because you have really hardcore brake pads on your car. So that's the nice part about the G-LOC stuff. They work really great, but they're not incredibly dirty. You can, like Carbotech, you can pick how dirty you want, but the more grip you get, the more dirty you're going to get. That's the nature of the game. That's how that works.
Nice, like the Carbotech too, that dust is non-corrosive.
Yeah, most of the pads now are doing non-corrosive stuff for their dust or whatever their stuff breaks down to. All the pad materials are all proprietary. They're all top secret. The compounds that they use are all very, very specific, and nobody divulges anything. They're probably mostly asbestos, but that's okay too. Whatever stops my car. I get a lot of people are like, oh yeah, the Viper's so fast. I'm like, you should feel it brake. One of my friends said she thinks I broke one of her boobs. Okay, sorry. I just hit the brakes pretty hard. Yeah, so when you start dealing with brake dust and stuff, having a really good wheel cleaner is a really good thing. So you can tell my bottle was pretty low. I maybe have half of a Miata wheel left. So we're going to get this guy reloaded. And it's called JaxWax Ultimate Tire Wheel Cleaner. And it's green and it has a very, very distinct smell. So tomorrow we'll be cleaning wheels on the Viper and cleaning wheels on the race car because both of those are going to Mopar Nats. Civic, probably not going to Mopar Nats. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, Civic's going to autocross this weekend.
Civic's going to autocross. It is not going to Mopar Nats. Are you going to Mopar Nats at all Saturday or Friday or anything?
I might be able to go Saturday. I don't think I have anything going on.
Okay.
I've never been before. It'd be cool.
Yeah. If you here's the other thing. If you guys haven't been to Mopar Nats in Columbus, Ohio, it's a huge event. A couple 100,000 people. A lot of it is very retro. There's a lot of retro drag cars, retro pro street cars, a lot of show cars, a lot of show cars, and some very, very unique builds, some off-kilter stuff. The Viper guys have a very, very good turnout. Challenger guys, obviously, Charger guys, and then it goes all the way back. You'll see stuff. There's a guy with a super badass power wagon from like 48 or something. There's tons and tons of stuff.
Take that SRT4.
Yeah, it's going this year. I didn't take it last year, but a lot of people have asked me to.
I feel like that'll be cool. That should get all.
They've asked me a couple of times to bring that car down just because it does have a very cool history, and I love bringing it down there and talking to people about it almost as much as I love tracking it. I think I like driving it more than. That's the only thing I like more than talking to folks about it. And kids love it too. Kids love anything with a roll cage. I promise you. If you got a roll cage in your car, kids gonna love it. I promise. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be a Toyota Tercel from '83. You get a roll cage in there, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's so awesome! Look at this race car." That's a good way to do it. No, I know. God. Yeah, and he'll just use like down tubes from a bike company. It's a full cage. Brian, it's like a Pepsi can. I can flex the tubing. So yeah, that Mopar Nats is a lot of fun. A lot of great people, and I like going because a lot of the Viper guys I only see once or twice a year, and it's nice to hang out with those guys and catch up and see what's new. A lot of new cars show up too, which is great. Folks are, buying Vipers and finding out about all these events, and people drive from all over. This is like Vipers that Tail the Dragon. They come from all over the country for this. So some friends of mine are coming up from Florida. Other friends are coming from Pennsylvania and Kansas and Missouri. So it's from all over. There's a ton of drag racing, and they have everything from like minivans drag racing all the way up to like pro street cars. So there's also a huge burnout contest, which I've done a whole bunch of years. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year. It's one of those things that it'll be a game time decision if I do the burnout contest with the Viper. Because what sucks is these guys go and they go to the junkyard and they get $15 wheels and tires from the junkyard, and they let them up and they blow them up with their, super craptastic, 92 Dodge truck, and people love that. And those are the guys who win versus, guys who actually dump out a ton of smoke with a really cool car. So people want to see tires explode. I don't really want to explode my tires, so I just try and maximize smoke. And this is funny. So this is a little Mopar trivia for you guys. I try to do the national anthem with the throttle. It's very hard to do. But I tried to do, "Oh, say, can you see?" So I try to keep it in second gear and do that, and it's very hard. If you're ever watching me do a burnout, you'll see me try to do the national anthem. There you go. Silly long distance bizarro trivia from me. How's that? Also, there's a ton of after party stuff. There's the cruises in Newark. There's the stuff at Bryce Road, as I'm spitting all over the place. There's there's an event at Hinderer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Heath. They're emptying their parking lot of all of their cars for sale, just for show cars. So, and it's a free event. They said they had like a bunch of food trucks. They had a popsicle truck coming. That's cool. They have a DJ, all this stuff. So that's at Hinderer, and that would be after Mopar Nats. So probably 7, 8 o'clock, 6, 7. I think racing turns off at 6. You know, check the schedule. I don't know for sure, but Brian's cleaning out the caliper slides like it's a dental implant. Oh my God, you have lube for the slides?
Yeah, I wanted to lose them up.
Oh, I'm not against it. It's after having Hammond in here for a bunch of cars, having someone come in here and do something so thoroughly and so precisely, it's very refreshing. And it's you know, you get used to something and then all of a sudden something different comes in, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That is how how it should be done. And I've told DePaul here to 3 times now to get bitch mittens and protect his hands, but still hasn't.
I've watched them a couple of times.
You have?
Yeah.
All right. Well, next time you wash them, grab some gloves. We call the nitrile gloves, call them bitch mittens. It's just it's a joke in the shop. They're actually for doing brakes because of the gnarly chemicals and compounds and stuff you're working with. It's actually a good idea to not get that stuff on your fingers. Yeah. I used to work with silicone a lot, like raw silicone, and it's messed up my hands. It really dried out my hands. I don't have moisture in my hands.
If I did this more often, I would have.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, when's the last time you did brakes on this? Were you still in college? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
65,000 miles on it.
Oh yeah. So it's a 2020 with 60,000 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That means he drives his Miata a lot. Brian was just.
I've been trying to keep miles off of this car because I put a lot of miles on it really fast. That's why I've been driving the BMW.
Oh, that's right, in the BMW.
I need to sell that car soon.
Brian was just at Miatas at the Gap, which is this gigantic Miata event at Deal's Gap at Tail of the Dragon. And how many Miatas? 1,000?
They're
1,200?
There were 1,300 that actually like checked in this year. I'm sure there's a ton of people that don't even go to the table and wait in the line and check in.
Yeah, so there's probably 12 to 1,500 Miatas. And
there's a lot of Miatas. I talked to some people that drove as far as like 15 hours for it, and they're Miatas with no cruise control.
Oh God, there's some hardcore Miata guys out there, and there's 318 turns and 11 miles. So I don't know how you get all those cars in 11 miles, but
there were some that were very fast.
Yeah, some pretty quick guys.
Oh yeah, some guys came flying up on me.
Okay.
Plenty of people pulled over for me.
Yeah, I would guess that you were at the upper percentile versus the lower percentile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian drives pretty quick, so.
My alignment got screwed up at one point. I had 1.1 degrees go out in front. Yeah, that's that much.
On both sides or just one side?
Like total.
Oh, total. I thought you were talking one wheel.
No, one wheel would be insane. So I was like, wow, the front feels like it's really towed out. I ended up getting alignment while I was down there.
Wow, okay.
It was really towed out. I don't know what happened to it. It just got like, if it was super far out at the last alignment I got, and I like didn't notice when I drove away at first, but I was like, yeah, wow, it's like bump steering super bad, and it feels like it wants to not track straight at all.
Yeah.
So I got an alignment while I was down there. It's the posted okay fast page that did a really good job, and it was $100.
Oh yeah, that's worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I have to get alignment on mine after Brian recommended the Flying Miata coils, so I'll get the alignment done after Mopar Nats. Probably not going to be doing a lot of Miata driving when it's Mopar week.
I like the Super Miata specs. I'll send you their page about setup. They have like an incredibly thorough page about.
I saw the specs from Flying Miata. I was just going to use those.
Their specs are good too.
Okay. I think that's what I did on there before. Was just the specs from Flying Miata.
flying me out does more deeper in the rear than the front. Kind of does the other way.
Okay. It also might be different between NA and MV.
Yeah, NA and MV setup is pretty identical. They have, I think Flying Miata just has one set of specs. Super Miata has like street specs, like full on like race specs, and then they have like an in-between one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, since this car is being used for autocross track and street, we'll do the in-between one.
Yeah, I like that. That's what I ran on my car for a while.
I don't want to torch through tires.
Now it has something between the in-between ones and the race ones. Kind of on the low end of the race specs. Even running like 2 and 2.5 years.
I'm going to move stuff out of the way for when we come back here. Brian's like super organized, so like everything is in one box, like the rotors, the brake pads, the caliper lube, everything is in one box, and he opens it up and it's like a Christmas present. And then when he leaves, he puts all the stuff back in the box, puts it back in his car. It doesn't hang out here and, you know, stay until the scrap metal run. It's gone. Poof, disappears. That's, again, very refreshing. What is that? Oh, that's your, and you got your egg roll?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, mine's a late night snack. So, yeah, that was part of the delay. We had dinner. So, got to eat food in order to keep going on this stuff. Surprising, no braided lines on this? Or are you not getting that hardcore with it?
No, you can't even do that for street class and autocross anymore.
You're kidding me. You can't do braided lines?
Not on modern cars.
That's a safety thing.
On old carb you can. Well, modern carb brake lines are fine.
Okay.
Like 90s. It's like 1990 and earlier you can do it on street class cars.
I watched a guy put an Evo 10 into the wall or into the embankment, and culvert turned 17 at pit race.
Did you blow a brake line?
No, he tracked hard all day on the rubber lines, and at the end of the day, he didn't have any brakes.
That sounds like a fluid problem.
No, it was actually a bulge line. Both the lines in the front.
They ballooned out?
Yeah, they were all done. So, and I'm sure fluid was part of it, but his lines, he didn't have braided lines on there. And
yeah, if you're tracking a car with that much power, you should probably do braided lines.
yeah, and it's funny because people are like, that's the last thing they do. Braided lines is one of the very first things I do on any kind of car that's going to the track, whether it's autocross or full road course. Even if you're drag racing, yeah. Jesus, you have all of that power, you're going 200 miles an hour. Last thing I want is a brake line to burst.
Yeah,
when I'm trying to stop. True, true. You need to have dual throttle cables.
Yeah, it's not like you're not building up the heat in it like you would on a course.
Well,
it's not the.
It also is car dependent. Like in the Viper, I'm hammering on the brakes.
Yeah, but you're still not braking from 140 to like 60.
Correct.
Like,
yeah, I'm not going into trying to beach at a buck and a half.
If you're ever bleeding off at an autocross, probably 30 miles an hour.
Well, I'm nosediving in the Viper just because I have so much weight and so much mass coming through that the whole nose will drop down. So, but in the Miata, it doesn't do that. I'm like you said, I'm barely skimming the brakes because I'm trying to pull another gear through this turn. Yeah.
Then you're also like.
I was going to say, do you want a light? Oh, heads up. And there.
Oh. Yeah, and then you're also like, you're doing runs that are 90 seconds or less, and then you're stopping and waiting a couple minutes until you go again.
Yeah.
So like stuff has time to cool down.
Oh, I was going to put this on the road. I'm like, he's about to hammer that off. So we'll put it up here. So Brian's using the impact screwdriver, and what it is it's a exactly what it sounds like. It's a screwdriver that you hold and you hit it with a hammer, and it does a very tiny turn to unscrew, but it uses impact, that force. And you want me to do it again? Okay. You got to hit that thing harder.
You have to really smack it.
Yeah. This is Ohio corrosion, man. Doesn't have any friends. Doesn't like anyone.
Slightly better than Michigan.
No, it's not.
I don't know. The cars here don't look as bad as the Solara.
The Solara was so bad. So bad.
There were like no salvageable body parts.
No, the body from here up was actually fine. The interior was really nice. The glass was all great. It was actually in very good shape. The problem was, as soon as you looked underneath, it was dead. It was just pure rust. You could drive a very nice car, and then all of a sudden, just the frame folds. It was literally any day. I'm watching Brian hammer this. Wait, that sounds really bad. You got it?
Yeah.
Nice. Now you know how hard to hit that thing.
Yeah.
And you got the same thing in the rears?
Yeah.
All right, we'll pull this back. Take it to the back of the car. So yeah, as soon as he's done on that side, I'll bring you guys back to the rears, and I'll show you some of the cool stuff we do, the simple tricks that we do to. Oh my God, do we have to reset that?
You just unscrew the motor. It's easy.
Okay.
I've never done it with the skin tool before. I've always just done it the manual way.
Okay. Well, I remember David and Devin.
I think that overcomplicates things to do the scan tool. Both was it in the Honda service manual. They're both like approved ways to do that.
Okay. Those guys bought Katie a new motor.
I've done rear brakes, and I think it's
Okay. I will be right back. Just not this particular.
Yeah, I did it on Daniel's car, and that helped two other friends.
Oh, okay. Daniel's is a 10th gen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the rear brakes are the same in the Type R.
I'm going to start. I'm going to take off the other rear wheel. So I'm going to leave the mic right here. I'm going to take off the other rear wheel just while we're waiting to get to this rear wheel because we don't want to here until 4 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, I should actually be here that late.
I know. You guys are going to see my legs back over there, but I promise I'm actually doing stuff. I'm going to put on bitumen. I know what's going on. Remember when these were like $40 a box?
When what was? Oh yeah, during COVID.
I remember.
Shot up like.
I remember back in the olden days. Whoops. I don't remember who sent them. They came in one of the packages and then a nice set of kind of shop gloves, shop-ish gloves. You got the zoomer over here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, brake clean. Oh yeah. I use it there.
No, that'll zip them right off. The torque spec on these things is only 80.
Really?
Yeah. That's what Honda uses on almost everything.
Almost as much torque as a smart car makes.
The Miata one, that's good for it.
Yeah. I think I do 90.
Yeah, I do.
90 on the Miata. 105 on the Viper.
Miata also only has 4.
Mine's harder. 140.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Ford always was really high ones. Even my Focus had 100. Oh, I got a new drive shaft for the Miata. My U joints are clunking. It was $180.
Oh, ring.
It's so nice buying parts for that car. They're so cheap.
I agree. Why am I cleaning Rotors? Very frustrating.
Yeah. If you want to try to get the screws out, that's something that is on there now.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. I'll take care of the back in a sec because I know the whole procedure for the parking brake.
Is the DFH you have it over there?
Yeah. Yeah, because they used to get the other rotor up.
Oh, do the Sharpie?
Yeah, it's nice that thing actually takes them out.
Are you putting those back in?
Yeah, I was putting copper anti-seize on them.
Okay. Okay.
They're not necessary, but it makes it easy to put the caliper back and stuff like that.
They're actually for production, or for assembly, but
yeah. Yeah, that's
I like
absolutely what they're for.
I'm going to pull this wheel off since I'm back there already.
Okay. Yeah, these will look so much better. The rusty rotor hats are so visible through the.
Yeah, that's true. Got those rings on there, this thing pops right off the hub.
Yeah, these wheels are so much nicer to take on and off. They're literally 10 pounds lighter each than the stock wheels.
Very nice.
And all the specs are identical otherwise.
All right. Parking brake.
No, it should be off. I'll start on it in a sec.
Yeah, no worries.
I have this almost back together.
Stray hairs. Okay, I'll bring you guys to the back now. Since we've got the wheel off, I'll kind of show you how the back works. Cool. And I'll grab a light too so you get kind of a better view. It's a little hard to see it. Of course, I have all the tools in the way. It's right here. This screw is used for assembly. When they build the car, they'll put the rotor on and then they'll screw that screw in to keep the rotor flush up against the hub. They can slide the calipers on and then go bleed everything. Otherwise, the rotor will wobble and it's harder to line stuff up. So they put that screw in. It takes about 1 second and it saves them a ton of time doing the rest of this stuff. So the fun part is this gets very corroded, especially if you live above I-70. And this is usually very, very difficult to get out. Now, thankfully, Brian takes really good care of his car, washes all the salt away and all that stuff. So this usually only takes a nice impact to get it out. So what we use, I'll show you real quick. Let me move this out of the way.
Yeah, if I get another Honda, that's going to be the first thing I do is just take off the wheeled ones, put some anti-seize on those.
Yeah. So we use this. This is an impact driver. When I hit it from the back side, it applies force that way, but it also unscrews. So slide this guy in. It's going to be loud, and I apologize for that. But you got to hammer it. And I have a Sharpie mark here that matches the white mark, so I can tell when it's moved. Because sometimes you close your eyes when you do this. Oh, can't tell if I just broke white paint or if it moved. Yep, he moved. So you can see there, he moved, and let's check it real quick. Now I can unscrew it. So that's what an impact driver is. It actually looks like this, and then you have a bunch of different bits for it. These bits are usually very, very strong. They can handle an impact. So now, if this doesn't work and you strip out the head of that screw, then you have to drill it out and use an easy out. Pull it out. Usually the heat will cause the corrosion to break down. You can take it out with an easy out. It's kind of a pain, but that's how you get the rotor off.
These screws are really soft. I've drilled them out before.
Yeah,
they go pretty
they're not super, stainless steel or anything like that. But you can't fracture them like with stuff like titanium. You can fracture really easy, and things like taps. Taps are very easy to fracture if you get a tap in somewhere and it's broken. get a really, really sharp punch or chisel, hit it, and it'll fracture and break, and then you can get the tap out. So these guys are pretty soft. And also, the car's been taken care of, so that's a really good sign, considering how far north of I-70 we are. So we're all done with this guy. We're just going to put him back in the toolbox. Along with the BFH, if you don't know what a BFH is, I can't help you. This is a 2-pound BFH. That is a technical term. Friends like, yeah, we're I know all the technical. Oh, BFH is too. Did you ever explain to the Japanese crew, like, you know, American shop talk?
I'm sure they have their own.
They might have like LFH.
Yeah.
So I'll take this one out. You have the screwdriver?
Yeah.
So I'll take this one out for you guys, just so you can see how easy it comes out now. And you can see the corrosion already starting on the end there. Once that goes all the way up, then it reaches this countersink face. It's really, really hard to get off. So these are going to get saved. Like Brian said, Brian will put copper anti-seize on here on the threads, and then it'll get threaded back into the new rotor. That way, when he takes off the other rotors, it should just walk right out.